That down. Let's move on to this. The Acolyte will not have a second season.
But it's going to sweep the Emmys.
But it's going to sweep up next year's Emmys. 100%. To nobody's major surprise, a report came out of Deadline that said Lucasfilm had made the decision officially 1 month after The Acolyte finished its season, suggesting that it's done. No more Acolyte. And it's not surprising. Deadline wrote this. Driven by interest into the Vulnerable Space franchise, The Acolyte got off to a strong start when it launched on June 4th with 2 episodes, generating 4.8 million views in just its first day on the streamer, to rank as the biggest series premiere on Disney Plus this year. The tally rose to 11.1 million views globally after 5 days of streaming. Corroborating Disney's data, the series made its debut on Nielsen's Top 10 Originals chart in its premiere week at number 7, 488 million minutes viewed, climbing to number 6 the following week. But that's when the wheels came off. But The Acolyte could not sustain the momentum, dropping out of the top 10 in week 3 and staying out of the top 10 before returning at number 10 on the release of the finale, believed to be the lowest viewed Star Wars finale. How I feel about this is not terribly surprising. By the way, some people seem happy that The Acolyte, the Batman is definitely happy.
Yeah, in particular.
That The Acolyte got canceled. I don't understand why you'd be happy it canceled. If you don't like it, don't watch it.
Yeah.
I don't know why you could be happy that somebody else, that show that somebody else might get canceled.
Why don't you want me to see Manny Jacinto more? Why do you want me to be unhappy?
Yeah.
He's SITHBAY.
He is SITHBAY. Stop making the Sith so sexy. Evil is so sexy in Star Wars.
Batman continues the celebration by putting in another $50
Damn.
badge just to celebrate the demise. To celebrate the demise of The Acolyte. Now look. The Acolyte was one of those shows that got announced on the same day at the same event that Shogun got announced. And I was so excited for The Acolyte. The whole concept of it, you had the showrunner and the director of Russian Dolls, which I loved. And I had to get in there. I had to see this thing. I was very excited about it. Trailers weren't so good. That's all right. I've seen great shows and great movies that didn't have great trailers. And the first couple of episodes, I'm on the fence. But even though there was a lot of crappy stuff in there, there was also stuff that showed promise. I'm like, okay, there's things here that show some promise. But that was it. After that, the rest of the episodes that I did watch completely disappointed me. I'm not speaking for anybody else, but they disappointed me. And then I eventually tapped out. I couldn't finish the series because I don't hate watch things, right? I don't like to hate watch, and I don't like to dance on the grave of things that failed. But after the show completed its run, there were pockets of fandom out there that came out supporting the show. That there are people out there who enjoyed The Acolyte, and that's great. That's the beautiful thing about the art of entertainment, right? It's all subjective. All entertainment hits us in different ways, and there were some people out there who, when they watched The Acolyte, it hit them the right way, and they enjoyed it, and that's fantastic. That's the great thing about the art. It did not do that for me, but it is what it is. So the real big telling thing, though, is that unlike, say, WandaVision, which week after week after week, viewership went up and up and up because word of mouth got out about how good this show was, and more people started tuning in. The Acolyte declined and declined and declined. And then a lot of people tuned in to check out the finale, but even with the finale, they could only get into the number 10 spot. So it really comes as no surprise that there was no place left for this show to go. It did not feel like... Here's the thing. You watch Shogun, you watch House of the Dragon, you watch The Last of Us, you watch Succession. All these shows felt like they're shot cinematically. They feel like these could be legitimately on the big screen. They feel that you feel that high production value. Never got that with Acolyte. To be honest, never really got that with any of the Star Wars shows. Too terribly much. Even The Mandalorian, like you could really start to feel the volume. That's the name of their virtual reality dome thing. You could really start to feel the voluminous of that show a lot. But The Acolyte never felt like a big production. It never felt like it was high value production. It never felt cinematic, which even if it's on TV, like I'll tell you what, that Skeleton Crew trailer looked way more cinematic.
Yeah.
Way more cinematic than anything that we saw in The Acolyte. So with the declining viewership, the questionable quality, the seemingly it had nowhere to go, I'm really not surprised that this thing got the axe. Were you about to say something, Jonathan?
They said, but up.
Yeah, nowhere to go. Nowhere to go but up. I know. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's episode, Miracle Made. Guys, it's hot outside and your nighttime bedroom temperature has a huge impact on your sleep quality. So if you wake up too hot or too cold, I highly recommend you check out Miracle Made's bed sheets. Miracle Made sheets are inspired by NASA and use silver-infused fabrics that are temperature regulating so you can sleep at the perfect temperature all night long. There are just so many things that make these sheets so fantastic. We already mentioned the self-cooling properties for better quality sleep, but they're also self-cleaning. These sheets are infused with silver that prevent up to 99.7% of bacterial growth, leaving them to stay cleaner and fresh 3 times longer than other sheets. No more gross odors. So go to trymiracle.com/Campea. That's TRYMIRACLE.com/Campea to try Miracle Made sheets today. And whether you're buying them for yourself or as a gift for a loved one, if you order today, you can save over 40%. And if you use our promo code Campea at checkout, you'll get 3 free towels and save an extra 20%. Miracle is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you aren't 100% satisfied, you'll get a full refund. So upgrade your sleep with Miracle Made. Go to trymiracle.com/Campea and use the code Campea to claim your free 3-piece towel set and save over 40% off. Again, that's trymiracle.com/Campea to treat yourself. Thank you, Miracle Made, for sponsoring this episode. Chris, you got the news.
Yeah.
How surprised or not surprised were you when the official word came out that they pulled the plug on this thing?
Oh, not surprised, because people did not respond well to this show. I did complete it, and I'm not one of the people who absolutely abhors it, but I also don't think it's great. I think there's a lot of missteps, especially when you're pitching something. I was talking to Ray about this earlier before the show started. When you're pitching something as a mystery thriller, it needs to be mysterious, and I need to be fucking thrilled, okay? Like, I can't have, yeah, so quickly in the show. And I'm married to Logan, who suspends his disbelief for everything. You guys know the joke. He always thinks Moana maybe isn't going to make it. He even went, oh, hey, is that? And I went, yeah. So he figured out what was going on in this show. Mr. Disbelief absolutely figured out this show. I think it had good moments. I think, again, Manny is killer in this show. And because of that time jump, it's such a shame because I don't know how you bring that character into anything else.
Yeah.
Because he's wonderful. And at the end, we finally got some things where it felt like we were starting to cook. Of, oh my gosh, this fight choreography is insane.
That's the one thing I will say for
It's
all the
so good.
episodes I watched. I will give its flowers. The fight choreography was fantastic.
Yeah.
I hated the show, but I will absolutely give it its flowers. Every time there was fights going on, I was
So
engaged.
good.
The fight choreography was great.
When it was firing on all cylinders, it was John Woo does Star Wars, which is all I want. I think that'd be amazing. And it was so disappointing that this didn't hit those marks. Again, I just feel like they had this story that they thought was really interesting and mysterious, but instead it just felt kind of like Star Wars fan fiction that somebody put together and not particularly effective fan fiction. It doesn't come as a surprise. I'm really bummed for this cast, though, because I know they wanted to keep going and to keep telling these stories. And again, I feel like they started making a little bit of momentum for those of us who held out to the end, but it was just a little too late.
I was about to say, I also really enjoyed the performances of everybody in it.
Yes.
Except there's one.
Oh, who do you not like?
And I don't know if it's their fault or the direction or the script of the character. The main Jedi back on Coruscant.
Oh.
The boss Jedi.
Yeah.
Terrible. Just a terrible character. And I know she's from Russian Dolls as well, which again, guys, if any of you have not watched Russian Dolls,
So good.
and if any of you are dumb enough to buy into this stupid thing of like, oh, headline, she can't direct. Yes, she fucking can. You're sticking your head in the sand. Just go watch Russian Dolls and then tell me with a straight face that you don't think she knows how to direct. Because yes, she fucking can. What happened with the Acolyte, I don't know. This was their bad day at the office. But I mean, yeah, I thought that character was just terrible.
Vanestra just felt off. And it felt like, okay, is this part of a Jedi
That was the
cover-up?
name of the character,
Yeah.
Vanestra, yeah.
And it was, especially, again, when we get to the end and you see Master Yoda and all this stuff, it's okay. So, oh, well, no, you could bring Manny back because Yoda's there. Maybe he can age like Yoda. Anyway, you have this kind of conspiratorial plot that's happening maybe too, because we have in the prequels people talking about, we haven't dealt with Sith in so long. We haven't done this in so long. So this could have been part of another big cover up and that story could have been so interesting. But we got to it too late. And Vanessa just seemed, I don't know, like she's in on it or shady, or I didn't get her.
You know, it reminded me of when you find out that, what's his for Manny? When you find out that Manny is the Sith Lord, it's like, it reminded me a lot of like when he finds out that you have a sister and Luke figures out Leia's my sister. And Obi-Wan says, your insights serve you well. Well, that, and she's the only female character in the movie franchise.
Right?
I mean, so like Manny being the Sith Lord is like,
Who
there's
could it
no one
be?
else here.
Also, I mean, if you were watching The Good Place, you've seen those arms for years. Okay, there's
Manny glow
there's no
up.
denying that those are his biceps.
Yeah, but oh my God. It's
Manny
like,
glow up.
I love the way
glow
you
up.
put that. If you're going to be a mystery thriller, you got to feel mysterious and you have to be thrilling. And it was neither. And I don't know what was going on with those. The witch coven that worships Dr. Zeus. We, the one of two, the two of three, and the count starts laughing. Ha ha ha. Like, I just look again, all respect to people there are people out there who like the show, and that's great. I am not trying to rain on your parade whatsoever. It's just that for me, the show was a big miss. And with the declining viewership and all that kind of stuff, it's no real surprise here at all that this thing got canceled. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Acolyte will not be getting a season 2. You know what? There's a question somebody raised saying, why did they have to kind of let it be public knowledge that they canceled this and they didn't with Obi-Wan? I think I didn't like Obi-Wan either,
No.
but it had more fans than the Acolyte did. And I think there's probably still ongoing discussions and pondering about whether or not they will. I think they just knew, you know what? Instead of letting people speculate, instead of letting this narrative continue to drag on, let's just put it out there that the show's dead and let it die. And maybe that was the right move. Whatever you guys think about this, jump down into the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.